From a $1.6 million watch that could buy an island to a dog funeral that could fund a small country, get ready to marvel at the most stupidly expensive things that royal families have paid for. Let's take a peek inside the lifestyle of the royal families. But before we dive into this video, take a moment to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Now, let's get started. King Swati III of Eswatini. King Swati III, head of the Swazi royal family, has been living it up while many of his people are struggling to make ends meet. I mean, the World Bank reported that more than half of the population was living below the poverty line in 2018, and yet the king was strutting around in a watch worth $1.6 million and a diamond-encrusted suit on his 50th birthday. Talk about fancy pants. And it doesn't stop there. Apparently, the Eswatini royal has a thing for luxury cars. And I'm not talking about just any old car. No. He's got a whole fleet of Rolls-Royce cars at his disposal, ordered exclusively for the royal family in 2019. That's right, 19 Rolls-Royces. I don't even know what to do with that kind of wealth. I can barely afford a bus pass, let alone a fleet of luxury cars. Now, I don't want to be too hard on the guy. I mean, if I had that kind of money, I'd probably go a little crazy too. But it's hard to ignore the fact that so many people in his country are struggling to get by. Maybe he could share the love a little and spread the wealth around, because I'm sure the people of Eswatini wouldn't mind a little slice of the Rolls-Royce pie. Prince Andrew. This is a bit of royal gossip, but it's juicy, so why not? Apparently, Prince Andrew, the third child of the Queen and Prince Philip, has been known to live it up in style. I mean, this guy knows how to vacation. But unfortunately, his love for the good life has gotten him into a bit of hot water. In 2019, there was some serious backlash surrounding his connection to the convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. So the Duke of York was like, yeah, I'm just gonna step back from the royal family for a bit. I can't say I blame him. I'd be running for the hills too. But let's talk about this lavish lifestyle a little. According to Vanity Fair, he was nicknamed Air Miles Andy by the media after taking a 4,000-pound helicopter ride to travel just 50 miles for lunch. I mean, who needs a car when you can take a helicopter, right? I can barely afford an Uber, let alone a chopper ride. And don't even get me started on the several luxury holidays he's taken. I don't think I've ever been on one luxury vacation, let alone several. The Duke of York also owns a 13 million pound ski chalet. I can barely afford rent on my studio apartment, and this guy has a whole freaking chalet. I can just imagine him sipping on hot cocoa while cozying up by the fire. Talk about living the dream. Prince Shah Karim Al Husani of Islamic Communities. This guy knows how to live it up in style. With a net worth of over 1 billion pounds, he's got some serious cash to throw around. I mean, this guy has got a yacht, several estates all over the globe, a private island in the Bahamas, his own yacht club on Sardinia, and not one, but two Bombardier jets. Before you start hating on the prince, there's more to this story than just expensive purchases. He's also committed to philanthropy and has said he is dedicated to eliminating global poverty. He's the founder of the Aga Khan Development Network, which builds schools and hospitals around the world. Sure, the network largely relies on donations from his followers, but it's still pretty cool that he's using his wealth for good. Let's not forget about the yacht club in Sardinia. That's some serious James Bond level stuff right there. I can just imagine the prince sipping on a martini, shaken, not stirred, while overlooking the crystal blue waters. But again, it's important to remember that wealth and privilege come with responsibility, and it's great to see the prince using his wealth to make a positive impact in the world. Queen Rania, Beatrice Borromeo, and Charlotte Casiraghi. Still on the topic of fancy royals and their luxurious lifestyle, Queen Rania of Jordan is no stranger to controversy, with many liking her to Marie Antoinette for her lavish spending habits. Despite an estimated 25% of Jordanians living in poverty, Queen Rania spends an average of 1,300 pounds on each piece of clothing. But hey, the palace claims that many of her designer clothes are actually gifts. I mean, who wouldn't want to be showered in gifts like that, right? Speaking of fancy weddings, let's talk about Beatrice Borromeo and Charlotte Casiraghi. These ladies know how to dress to impress. Beatrice wore not one, not two, but 4 couture ensembles for her wedding in 2015. 2 Valentino gowns for the civil ceremony in Monaco, and 2 Giorgio Armani Privé dresses for the religious ceremonies in Lake Maggiore. I mean, that's some serious wedding dress goals right there. Charlotte Casiraghi may not have a royal title, but she's still got some serious style. In 2019, she had not one, but 2 wedding ceremonies, a civil ceremony, and a religious ceremony weeks later, and bought 3 separate designer gowns for the occasions. There is something about when royals spend money on luxury, they spend in abundance and excess. Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia seems to have a love for lavish goods. This guy loves spending money like it's going out of style. In 2017, he anonymously bought a painting by Leonardo da Vinci called Salvator Mundi for a jaw-dropping $450.3 million. Trust me, you don't even want to know how much it would cost to insure that thing. Yet it's nothing in comparison to the other outlandish purchases he has made over the years, including a car key that reportedly cost him a whopping $269,000. Yes, you heard that right. A car key that costs more than most people's houses. Prince Mohammed has also been known to splurge on some pretty unusual vehicles. In 2018, he reportedly purchased 6 amphibious vehicles worth $900,000. That's right, amphibious vehicles. Because who needs a regular car when you can drive on land and in water? As if that wasn't enough, he reportedly paid $2.7 million for a camel. It's not clear what he did with the camel, but it's safe to say that it was probably one of the most expensive camels in the world. It's clear that Prince Mohammed isn't afraid to spend his money on some pretty wild purchases. But hey, when you're a billionaire, I guess you can afford to buy things like expensive car keys, amphibious vehicles, and even a $2.7 million camel. Sultan of Brunei. From 500 Rolls Royces, $20,000 haircuts, and a 1,788-room palace to a $2 million dog funeral, the Sultan of Brunei sure knows how to live the lush life. And I mean LUSH. We're talking about racing Ferraris at midnight, commissioning a palace that could house a small country, and spending a whopping $20,000 on a haircut. Let's not forget about his impressive car collection. The guy has 500 Rolls Royces. That's more cars than most of us will ever see in our lifetime. Plus, he shares a collection of over 5,000 cars with Prince Jeffrey. I can't even imagine what the garage looks like. And you know what they say, with great power comes great responsibility, or in this case, great excess. The Sultan of Brunei's exploits is so extravagant that he even earned a Guinness World Record for the largest Rolls-Royce collection in 2011. That's pretty impressive, but I can't help but wonder how many car washes he needs to keep all those cars looking shiny and new. The Sultan of Brunei reportedly spent $2 million on a dog funeral. Can you believe that? That dog must have lived a life worth more than a lot of humans. I can only imagine how luxurious that dog casket must have been. All in all, the Sultan of Brunei is truly living his best life, with a fortune that's said to grow by $147,000 every second. It's safe to say that this guy won't be running out of cash anytime soon. So here's to living it up and enjoying the funner things in life, even if it means spending $20,000 on a haircut. Cheers. The royals don't play when it comes to luxuries. They spend heavily. Would you live such a luxurious lifestyle if you had the money to go with it? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below.